Hello, everybody.
What happened to one?
No, you don't say one. That's how producers in Hollywood do it.
Yeah, you go 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, you get
Okay, 5, 3.
yeah, just start throwing out random fingers at the people as you're counting down.
That sounds very much like what Wade would do.
I miss Pat.
We were Molly and I were out doing I don't know if we were pogoing or we were just in love. We were like what
is pogoing?
Pokemon Go.
Go.
We were out like in this.
That's what the kids call it now.
That's just
I guess. But we were out like in this nice little town. We were grabbing lunch. This might have been whenever Molly's parents were in town. But there was a live band setting up on the stage, and they were doing their sound check. This is totally irrelevant to anyone but Tyler, probably. Well, Mike, you've probably done sound checks with panels and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Whoa.
for our tour that we were doing, we had to do like this big like sound check. Then we'd warm up on the stage and everything else. But like this band was doing their sound checks, so like check 1, 2, and I was like, oh my god, we did that. We said that. We used to say check 1, 2. And like I didn't care at all about the music they were playing. I was just like, sound check, yay!
something I can
Sound
recognize.
check. Quit singing.
That's so good. That's really, really good. So perfect.
It just made me very nostalgic for tour listening to the sound checks of all.
I miss tour so much.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Maybe I'll know what that's like next year. We'll see.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to Lost Initiative Week 13 of Return to Faerun. Last we left off, we sent Vicelor with the assassins because we figured he'd be useful, and that's kind of where we left off.
This entire plan was horrible. We should have just literally gone here, made some sounds of sex, sent the guards away to check it out, opened the doors.
Oh my god, the whole bad sex noises thing. I forgot. My memory was like black that out.
There's also the fact that
remember.
Major just turned on a lantern in this guy's place. Like anything revealed, all right, and then turns it off. But the guy saw the light. Oh god.
Every D&D I've been a part of on this channel, there's been like one episode that stands out from a random sex scene.
What's the common thread in all that?
Mike.
I was gonna say Wade, but
You two, actually. We've all
maybe it's the three of us together is the problem.
We
It's
are
just
sex.
way
Cool.
too much between it. We want each other too badly, is what it
When you
boils
put the
down
three
to.
of us together, you get sex.
If you try hard enough.
You're each of the letters. All right, who's the S, who's the E, and who's the X?
Well, since my name is Scott,
Scott should be the E.
and a W turned sideways is literally an E. And Mathix.
I don't have to fit. I get to watch and record.
Oh.
X is for the X-rated that it gets
I thought it's because you're spread eagle face down.
No, I thought it was because it's the ex-girlfriend.
Oh god, is that who's there? Good god, I'm not there then.
This is why I'm bald.
I thought it was poor genetics, but I'm sorry. My mistake.
That's true too.
Well,
So,
Scott, off to you. I'm gonna throw you the ball now.
Hold on, I catch the ball, and first I want to say, DM Powers, make Mathis play Syax for the session. Ugh!
I guess I'm Syax this session.
later.
I am Syax this session. That makes sense, actually.
I thought it was
Okay.
CX.
It depends on how. I don't know. I thought it was Oofius.
Oh, I thought he was like the Red Sox.
Hey, hold up.
I thought it was Grosh.
Wrong show now.
I need you to give me. I don't have access to his character sheet, is the thing, Scott. So.
I thought it was Tiefling. You know, like it's, you know. Oh, you don't have access to his character sheet?
No.
No, none of us have access to each other's.
Oh, Mike usually has access to everyone.
No, I'm limited to Thunk and Bofgrim. Bofgrim just comes back.
It's dead, so.
Yeah. What?
He might not be. Maybe he's just like in tummy world.
Yeah, he's just stuck into some ethereal.
He's just floating around. Oh, that's a sandwich.
An ethereal
Oh, look.
digestion.
Candy.
Yeah.
Digestive system. All right.
Maybe it's like
CX.
the thing from Star Wars. It digests you over the period of 1,000 years. So you're just like,
Oh, yeah.
like
That way.
oh,
that
I'm
way.
scared of that sucks.
That way, fanboys can cling to you until a book comes out.
Yeah.
Gives you a backstory.
We could write a book. See, there you go. About Bofgrim, the character who appeared in 1.5 episodes.
So his character is pretty simple. You do one of three things. One, blow it up. Two,
Yep.
support, or 3
Support
fuck it
by
up.
blowing it up.
Say, or 3 fuck it up.
And remember, he has sorcery points that can make Beishra take no damage.
All right, so I'm gonna have RP with CX this episode.
This
Go
is
to
a
our backstory.
Hey, chat. What I need you to do is every hour we need you to rate on a 1 to 10 how good Mike is playing Syax,
Fair.
and be honest with him. I mean, he needs the criticism in his life. So
I'm clearly too successful. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm swimming in money, everybody.
Exactly. See,
I have,
like Scrooge
Halloween.
McDuff.
You think Markiplier makes a lot of money?
Who's that?
It's one
sorry,
of the
everybody's
biggest.
cast under the shadow of Mathis.
That's
Just
true.
such a bright light.
There's something weird going on in the stream. Mathis, Derek's green screen appeared on Wade's channel.
I know. I was fiddling.
Is it
with,
over here?
I was messing with the.
Is he over here?
Because we're down a player, so I have to redo some of the camera angles. I'm making sure it's.
Can I touch Wade?
Okay. I get it.
Do you want to touch Wade?
Usually.
Does Wade want you to touch him? There you go. All right.
We don't need to. Mike. There you go. You go right there.
Wait.
That's what we need.
I can't see anything. What do you need? Oh yeah. Okay. All right. I gotta work on this though, because I'd have to make your background transparent, but we could actually make it work.
I could just turn my
you know
light
what?
on.
Give me time. Yeah, turn your light on. Give me some time. I'm gonna do some cropping, some green screening. CX is napping. Vicelord's on his way back with Beishra, not with CX.
He's napping. He's our crowd watcher.
I'm just gonna stay here and.
It might take. Though you might tire your arm out while I fiddle a little bit. So don't worry.
It's my left arm. Don't worry, I can do it.
It was hold on. It was CX's job to stop the guy from going back to his apartment.
So Scott, keep DMing while I do this.
Like, is this what you call DMing?
I guess.
I guess.
You look like the guy from Scary Movie 2 who made the mashed potatoes with his little hand.
Oh my gosh.
I just remembered that scene.
Yeah. You're welcome.
I know in today's climate you're not supposed to laugh at that shit, but still. Moving on.
Can I actually green screen you out?
I hope so, because
I
it's a
hope not.
screen that is green.
Yeah, but through I'm specifically trying to do it like filter through as just Zoom. I don't know.
It has been done.
I do all the time.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out then.
I was like, I green screen other people's screens all the time. So if you're using OBS with XSplit's a little funky. All right, so hello everybody. Hi, how we doing? Good, glad to hear it. So last session we had a couple of people try to sneak into an apartment and fuck up some more, and then
Fuck.
when
Yeah, the other people did. Not the sneakers.
one of the neighbors went up to the other one and was like, "What's that noise?" And the guy's like, "Dude, stop bragging." And then eventually you guys broke into the apartment. You finally get in there and you're like, "Let's see if there's magic." Good idea. Let's light a lantern. And the guy outside was like,
after nothing was there.
"My light's on in my bedroom."
Hey,
And
I didn't know
leave it
there
on.
was a window. You didn't tell me there was a window.
My apologies. I don't think it matches. I don't think it meets building code if there's not at least one window.
Oh, whoa. Who said building code exists in this world?
A window, a closet, and ingress egress. I think is what's required. So, moving on. So, and then all of a sudden, Syax is like, "Meow, he saw it," and so he goes running off up the stairs, and Syax is like, "I'll kind of chase after him nonchalantly, so nobody notices." So he comes rushing up the stairs. The two of you, of course, have no clue he's coming up the stairs. And
Right.
Syax, of course, has no spells that can immediately warn you of such a thing. Unless, Mathis, thrown to you, looking very quickly at Syax's spell list.
I'm just trying to warn them. What
he's
about?
We're still invisible, I think, right?
Well, he has minor illusion as a cantrip.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we be invisible?
He said he would
You
throw
can-
something.
You guess detect magic doesn't end your invisibility.
I don't know. Does it?
Do I know where they are?
You know that they're in that room. That
I mean,
at the very least,
definitely
Syax
still invisible.
saw
All
him
the
look up
twilight.
into that room and like rush up there. So Syax like knows. Okay, yeah, all right. Syax is not dumb. Let me double check. He's
I
not
feel
dumb.
like Beishra is still invisible because all he did was light a lantern.
It does still count as a casting spell, so yes, I am no longer invisible. But Beishra's still invisible.
Yeah.
Could I not create an illusion of myself in the room with them and give the sound just like a get out of here or whatever sound. I'm trying to tell them to get the hell out, right?
No.
Minor illusion, sound, or sight. Your
Oh,
choice.
you can't do both?
Sound or sight with a single casting.
Well, shouldn't he? Like, the dude's out in the street right next to him. Shouldn't he have more than 6 seconds to cast both?
Well, he's the guy rushing up the stairs, so he might have 6 seconds. Might have.
All right, I'll
minute.
just do my. It'll just be Ciax's voice that says he's coming. Would that be good enough?
I think we'd figure that out.
Yep.
Yeah.
It probably catch you guys off guard that you heard the voice because it wasn't part of the plan and didn't expect it or whatever. But you can immediately identify Sax's voice. Don't need him to roll any checks or anything. You know it's him. So, I imagine for a moment Weissler snickers as Sax voice appears out of nowhere yelling, "He's coming!" After the scene that just played out in the hallway. But then the guy's like running up the stairs and you guys can prepare. How do you want to get ready?
Baisher's going to position himself to where whatever direction the door swings to make sure the door doesn't hit him, but kind of be behind where that door is. He's invisible, so he just wants to be behind him to be able to keep him inside the quarters because the plan is to kidnap him.
Okay. So you're going to go roll me a stealth check to hide, and again you have invisibility, so you're
advantage.
Correct. And invisibility is actually, hold on, wait a second, because you went up there. Invisibility was supposed to be for an hour. Never mind, you're good. You're good.
Yep. So I'm going to, I'm just going to lay on the ground and pretend to be just like unconscious on the dude's floor. So when he walks in, he's like, what the hell? And then that way he's distracted. So Baisher can grab him from behind and hopefully cover his mouth. And then I'll stand up and assist.
Like on the floor, like as he opens the door, it swings and thwacks you in the leg or
No,
like
I'm imagining the layout of this apartment is like you walk in, there's like either a little walkway or hallway or opening or something. I want to be far enough in where he's got to take a few steps in. So that way Baisher can like slam the door shut and then jump on him or something.
Sure, absolutely. So Weissler sees
where I can get up and help assist pretty quick.
Weissler sees Baisher put out the lantern light, hear the warning. Or he puts out the lantern light, a couple moments later, here's the warning, and he kind of looks around, doesn't see or hear Baisher do anything. You're welcome to roll a perception check, but let's be serious. You're probably not going to hear or see Baisher do anything anywhere.
Should I roll deception for my performance, or what should I roll?
No, and then you got to go over to an area and like, I got an idea. And then you literally just kind of like sprawl out on the floor. It's dark in there. You don't need to make any checks or anything as of right now. So he comes, the door opens up like several moments later. The door opens up. The keys kind of like jiggling. And then the keys actually don't function at first. What the hell? And you can kind of hear muffled through the door. Baisher, kind of hear muffled through the door. Like, I think somebody broke my lock. And then he...
Baisher, do I need to roll a constitution save to prevent from laughing? I don't think he would laugh, but that's really funny to me.
You're more than welcome to.
I don't want to roll. I don't think he'd laugh.
He's like, but now it'd be funny. No, you're good. So you don't roll anything. There's not necessary by any stretch of the imagination for you to roll. So he fiddles around with the lock for a little bit, and then he stops and he starts to cast a spell. You can literally hear him casting a spell through the door.
Can we tell what it is?
Wade, first I need you to roll me a perception check. Not high enough to get the words, finite enough to know what spell he's casting.
Okay.
Baisher doesn't know spells, so it wouldn't help him, right?
Correct. So he starts...
But he would probably move away just in case something like broke. Like
Nope.
he blasted through it or something like that.
Nope, you're perfectly fine. So he casts a spell, and then a couple moments later on, he you can hear him like take a step back, and he kicks the door once, then kicks it again, and it pops open. The second time he kicks it, it pops open. This time, what ends up happening is he kicks open the door. Immediately, Wade, your head's kind of down. But Baisher, immediately what you see is that in front of him and kind of like all around him, there are a whole bunch of like spiritual essences that seem to be like emanating off of him and all around, like a protective aura that is everywhere abouts. And it stretches in pretty far. As soon as the door is kicked in, it stretches because it's not like it's a huge room. It stretches in 15 feet The room does not go back 20 feet. It goes back only about 15 feet from where the door is. Small hallway opening, like Wade had said, but it does go around the corner a little bit. So nothing immediately happens because obviously you're kind of hidden around the corner, and the effect doesn't immediately go around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as it happens, all of a sudden this like kind of like spectral forms
what that
appear.
spell is from looking at it?
So you're kind of like, one eye open. Oh, you probably can't see my face. Like one eye open, like looking around. With disadvantage, roll me a religion check.
I can't roll well with advantage. Let's see how disadvantage goes.
Oh! Wait, no, that's bullcrap. It says 2 18s on the roll.
It does say 2 18s. I don't know how. They didn't even
Never stopped. Either of the rolls never stopped on anything. That roll 20 screwed you.
No, because the actual algorithm that randomizes the rolls appears in chat. The 3D dice is just the best they can do to physically represent the actual physics of it. So,
boo.
well, nobody else can see what you're talking about, so I'm just gonna say, guys, they're lying. It actually says 2 1s. I don't know why he's complaining. Moving on. So you are looking at it, and you unfortunately cannot identify what the spell is. Oh, okay, that was so blurry for a minute. When's that from?
I just took it.
Yeah.
You liars.
There's if you took the picture properly,
Liar, Scott.
you see the timestamp in the bottom corner.
All right, so anyways, you can't identify the spell. What do you do, Tyler and Wade?
I'm waiting for him to walk in. Am I able to tell if it removes
likes it
my
when he gets walked in on.
invisibility or something?
All right.
My apologies.
Is Basher able to tell if he's uninvisible? Like, obviously, if he looked down, he would be able to see himself if he was uninvisible.
His hand's still invisible.
Here's
Okay.
what I'm going to do. Vicelor is going to put on a little bit of a deceptive show here, and he's going to talk as if he's like very badly hurt. So I will roll deception, and we'll see how well this goes. 17's not bad.
So what does Vicelor actually say?
You have magic here. The creature feeds on magic. You should not be here.
Mike, roll me a d6.
This is a place where the creature has actually attacked before.
A
A
one.
1.
No, it's good. That means you're going to show up round 2. That's good news.
Okay. I'm good.
1 round delay. That's good.
That's good. I'll be there to save you soon, I
How
guess.
good is this guy where a 17 is not a decent roll on deception? That's a decent.
I'm not saying it's not a decent roll. What I'm saying is, he goes, the creature, it's returned. Show yourself. And you can hear him slowly inching into the apartment. As he inches in, the creatures start to spread out. Show yourself, lest you find yourself in danger. At this point, I want everybody to roll initiative.
All right.
Guessing my deception.
I got to click on my mini somewhere.
No, he's
Where's
telling
my
you,
mini?
show yourself, lest you find yourself. You guys couldn't see it because it's a GM roll, but it immediately pops up on the turn order. I rolled a natty 1.
It did.
Tyler, what did you roll?
Basher rolls a natty 1 too, but it doesn't
but
matter.
I
He
have
gets to ignore it.
advantage.
Yeah.
You ignore that?
Yeah, because of my short bow of warning.
Yeah, he gets to roll twice and keep the higher its advantage on the roll.
Where the hell? There's initiative. Woohoo!
Hey, you go before him.
So round 1. So before round 1, he says, show yourself lest you find yourself in danger. He doesn't say it necessarily threatening, but it's also not exactly meant to be like, come give me a hug, bruh.
In that motion, can Beatrice see him? He's walked in, correct?
So as Wade had originally described the room, when you first walk in the door, it was like maybe a 5-foot long hallway, just shy of that, maybe 4-foot long hallway. Then it opens up into the room, opens it a little bit to the left, mostly to the right, kind of like if you walk into a hotel room, sans the bathroom on your side, right? And then it kind of opens up considerably. The whole thing from the door all the way in is only about 15 feet deep. But around the corner it goes, once you're in the width part of the room, that's also about 10, 12 feet wide. So the whole thing is not exactly huge. It's about 12 by 12-ish 12 by 11ish inside the bulbous part of the room. You happen to be slightly around the corner, so you see these spectral spiritual things kind of like splayed out in front of you and going all the way to the other side of the room. But like where you and Wade currently are is just barely outside of the radius of where they are because they stretch directly forward.
So who goes first here?
Beishra is actually going to act first, so he's technically Beishra. You would have to step around the side, around the bend, and up to him. You're only moving about a 5-foot step because you have to go around the corner. Though it counts as 5'10". Just go around the corner. Just get like a roll into it.
So,
Beishra, I'm going to speak before you go. I can speak before he acts, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Beishra, allow me first. That's all I say.
Okay.
Well, obviously that guy heard you, so you just basically ruined the element of surprise.
Yes and no. He's certainly on edge. You can immediately hear his his foot stance change, shift, and whatnot as you're standing there. However, he still can't see Beishra. Beishra, go ahead.
Beishra is going to position himself to where once he is visible, he can strike. His goal is to knock him unconscious, so he's going to go towards that edge. So right when he shows an appearance, he can literally just turn and punch him in the face with a nice dagger or short sword.
So he's technically visible right now, but he's out of reach. So you're saying wait until he comes within reach, sort of a thing?
Correct.
Okay. So you're preparing an action. Cool. Syax, this is the turn that you come rushing up and find all the way to the hallway. You know you're there because as you're running through the hallway, you kind of like skid to a stop. It's like skid to a stop, and you see the spectral creatures all inside the hallway and spreading out around, and you kind of see like his back heel is just outside in the hallway, but he's, as he himself is right inside the doorway going into the room. That was your dash action, you double move to get here. However, you would still have a bonus action if there's anything you could do with that. So he's still about 15 feet away from you.
So this dude is this the religious dude that we're after?
Correct.
Which religion? I can't remember.
Mishra.
This is the one we want for the temple.
Correct.
And where'd these spirits come from?
Good
He
question.
summoned them.
But
Magic.
I get another question. Oh, well, I only have a bonus action, so question is irrelevant actually. I know we want to take this guy unconscious. I don't know what to do about the spirits. With a bonus action, everything I have is one action.
1
You
second.
can technically ignite your flames or something like that.
Just to meta here a little bit, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to spell magic on him when it gets to be my turn.
Wow. Wade, the meta. Chat, roast Wade, please.
Give him a good old fashioned Twitch roasting.
Beishra
I've got
was
nothing
ready to strike anyway. He wasn't going to come around the corner and reveal himself.
Is there a
I
self
didn't think
buff he
I
can
didn't
give
think
himself,
he
like
could be
Phoenix Spark, Scott? Is that like a...
Yeah, it's one of them. It's a Flames of Flame. Is it that one? No, that's a free one.
Mantle of Flame?
Mental Flame, I think it's that one. As a bonus action, you read through 7-5 for 1 minute, blah, blah, blah. You shed a bunch of lights, so you have the attention on you.
I mean, that's fine. It'll take it away from Beishra, which is what we want right now.
Well,
anyway.
Beishra isn't seen.
Exactly.
He doesn't know that. But
Oh,
he
well.
doesn't know that. Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna Mantle of Flame it and just.
Do you say anything, or you just like flame on?
I don't say anything. I think.
Do you say anything, or do you say flame on? Those are your only two choices.
I say, heat ignite.
That's the access. You casually. Hashtag heat ignite.
Heat ignite.
It sparks a couple times before it actually catches.
Make sure you hit up Pat on Twitter and Discord about that one. Hashtag heat. So, anyways, so you heat ignite, and you blast that on, and you can literally see, because do you still have your disguise on that you were wearing as you were creeping through the tent?
I don't think he would have taken it off.
Yeah, I imagine I would be.
Okay, so he hears you say that, but it's not his turn yet. First, it's Vicelor's turn.
Get him, old man.
Dispel magic. It's at 4th level, so if that makes any difference.
Mm-hmm. It does, considerably. It means you automatically dispel anything of 4th level or lower.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you describe this? Because you're currently lying on the ground, slightly outside of the range of that spectral thing he has going on.
well, I don't think I've got to get up for it. So I think just while lying there, Vicelor he makes that random scream, not the exact one, but he doesn't. So he wants to keep focus on him and off of Baistra and CX. I imagine he can see CX flaming up in the hallway, or at least he hopes it's CX flaming up in the hallway. And whatever, I don't know. Dispellico Magico.
Jesus Christ.
All right. How Vicelor would say it. That didn't sound
magic, be gone.
Okay, and so it instantly works. Like you cast a spell, and like as a wave disrupts the magical energies that are actually holding the spectral guardians there. The spell, and it completely discorporeates all of them, all the way through up until it hits him. Kind of like popping all the ones that are directly in front of you, all the way to line up to him. When it hits him, it's kind of like as it hits him, you can see the magic leave his body. And just the rest of them simultaneously dissipate, as opposed to like.
As I say it, I will say to him, "I told you, no magic."
Once
Vicelor would absolutely be Professor Trelawney's side bitch.
Yeah.
Vicelor would only be the side bitch for her.
See, the best part is
okay.
Scott rolled it.
Scott had to Google it.
Like, I know who that is. Okay, gotcha. The one that only ever did 2 prophecies or whatever it was.
Yeah, pretty much.
Her sister was the good one. So anyway, so now it's finally his turn. I unfortunately rolled a natural 1, so I don't have a standard action. I just got to move and a bonus, but that's okay because he comes rushing forward to go see exactly who it is in the room. Moving forward, it triggers your prepared action, Baistra.
Yeah. So here's the question. My goal is to knock him unconscious. That can be done by taking him to 0 health points or just punching him. Do that.
Taking him to 0 health points.
Okay.
There's
so
no subdual damage in 5.
So what it is when you drop the person, you decide whether if it was knocking them out or killing them.
Oh, you decide afterward?
Yep.
Instead of, so
Mike, it's fine.
Wait a
Mike,
minute.
it's fine. Imagine if your training wheels came with padding.
But come on, man. That's like, I beat him with my 2-handed great axe, and right as he falls over, it's like, it's all subdual. I was just beating him with a flat side.
That was an important question because then in that preparing to act, would have triggered my dagger of venom to have venom on it.
Oh man! At least in the other dishes, you had to hit him with a blunt.
Knockout venom.
Yeah,
no, Tyler.
Knockout venom.
Your prepared action you have to spend an action to do the dagger. You've prepared your action to attack.
No.
So I don't get the venom. Does that not count?
Correct. You have to spend an action to do that. Mm-hmm.
All right, fine. Then I'm just gonna slice him with my short sword.
Okay.
I get advantage because I'm invisible, right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So that also is sneak attack if I hit.
If you hit, yep.
It's such a weird, but that's the rule that's rubbing me the wrong way. That's the stupidest rule in the world.
That one rule?
That one's killing me for some reason. I don't know why. Like, it just doesn't make sense in my brain.
Mm-hmm. I can show you some others. So that's definitely a hit, Tyler.
All right, so I'm gonna roll damage on that, and then roll my sneak attacks.
Jesus, I forgot how good your sneak attack was.
I imagine that doesn't count for like throwing a fireball though.
Wait, what?
If I throw a fireball though, I can't be like, if they fall over, that was all subdual.
It's melee attacks.
Okay, all right. There's all right.
Yeah, so you can't like shoot an arrow unless there's like some sort of homebrew thing. We actually talked about this in my Discord recently. You can't like shoot an arrow and do that unless you like had a common magic item, which is something that exists as like one of the UAs or whatever, one of the books. Anyway, so unless you have like a common magic item that can do that for you, it's only melee attacks. But still, your example of stupid. I bash you all over the place with a great axe, but you don't die.
Yep.
Like I severed, as you're describing his and I'm severing his limbs and he's bleeding viscera and his guts are spilling out. Oh, but he's still alive. All right, moving on. So Jesus Christ. That is his turn was rushing forward as he takes the hit from you because you step out and you stab at him with the sword with the short sword and you could thrust into his stomach. And he's able to avoid most of the attacks, so you don't hit any organs or whatever. It's instead a deep gash on his side because he's kind of like saw you out of the corner of his eye last second. Not you, obviously, you were invisible, but he kind of like felt the presence and heard the movement. And so he kind of like got his hand out just in time to kind of like slap the blade so it didn't fully thrust in, but cut his hand a little bit. And almost like his instinct, like as soon as he takes the hit, like as an instinct, he is going to go to try to cast a spell, but he did just take damage. So have to make a concentration, I believe. No, wait, that doesn't exist in 5e. Never mind.
Well, he doesn't have any action, does he?
Yes, he does. He has his bonus action.
Oh.
To cast a spell?
Correct. And with his bonus action, he's going to cast Spectral Weapon.
No, he's not. Counterspell.
See, sending Viceler was a great idea.
Yes.
I said no magic.
Wait,
He is the
pop that in chat?
He is the grumpy old man of the campaign of just like, I said no magic.
I said
I'm
no
told!"
magic.
God damn it! Ah, fucking hate you, Wade. I was like, I still got. He's like, no.
Is it? It's not 4th level then, huh?
Well, 4th level or lower. If it's because he casts it as a 4th level spell, so if it's 4th level or lower, it's still yeah. Anyways, yeah, okay. Well, that's his turn. That's the base round. It's your turn. I had my legs taken up from under me and then kicked in the cock. It's your turn, sir.
I no longer have advantage, correct?
Correct.
Not visible.
Correct.
All right. Well, here comes another sword swipe then. Boop, 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 boop. Please hit. Yeah, that's a hit. Boop, 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 boop.
This guy is really hurt, but still standing. Go ahead.
Oh, he's biting him.
Non-lethally.
Non-lethally.
It's a knockout bite.
It's a knockout. It's yeah.
It's like stab him
like,
in the eye.
Are you gumming him?
It's like love.
Are you?
It's like love nips,
That's probably a miss.
I'm gonna cast Fireball non-lethally.
So I'm gonna start gumming this guy. And he's like, ah!
Does it
I
take
want to knock out an
I'll
entire
take the
round of ants.
thrusts.
I'm gonna cast Fireball non-lethally on the ants.
Melee only, Wade.
Does a 10 hit?
What about does shocking grasp count
Yeah.
as melee?
Yeah. Well,
So I can't spell. If I cast a spell on him, it'll kill him. It won't knock him out.
shocking grasp just simply becomes taser. It's a taser touch. That's my spell.
Your lack of response says bite hits.
No, bite misses. We're
Gosh
just
darn it,
having
I
fun.
hate you.
Yep. All right. So, Baser, your bite
Well,
misses.
it's because you tried to actually gum him, and that's what
Yeah,
happened.
it's because I was trying to like not use my teeth, so I was trying to like bite his arm, and he just moved his arm.
It's your turn, Michael. So I mean Pat.
Oh,
CX.
you said Pat, and I was like, oh, sweet. And I was like,
CX.
took me a minute. And I was like, oh, wait, no, that's me. Yeah, because I moved myself down to his slot. I guess if Shocking Grasp can be done as as subdual damage, I guess we're going to go Shocking Grasp him.
You come rushing up from behind.
You just see that his tiefling hand kind of open up as electricity just runs up from his elbow to his fingertips as he rushes forward just to kind of place his hand on his back and transfer that energy to him. Let's go. 21.
That's a hit.
hit.
Roll that damage.
9.
He had 2 health left.
All right, success.
So he's like gets a stab in the side and then another thrust and a cut open. All of a sudden you come up behind you like, we're not supposed to kill him. He's like, "Ah!" And it just drops as you taser him in his spine. You know what I mean? Awesome. And the guy just like drops to the ground like a sack of potatoes.
Whew, I don't do that too much. Maybe I should.
CX, close the door.
Siak just turns, shuts the door quickly.
There's you can hear almost immediately as you're shutting the door, kind of like hearing out in the hallway. People are coming back out of their doors.
God damn it! Do I have to do it again?
Viceler?
No, it's okay because you already shut the door.
Well, okay.
Viceler, we need you. We invisible. We need to be invisible. Well,
about
least.
that, I may have overextended myself.
What's the drop from the window down to the ground outside?
I'm like the second story, aren't we?
Correct. So probably about 15, 16 feet.
Is that lethal?
It can be. It doesn't have to be.
either of you have a rope.
Just like dangle him as much as you can by like under the armpits as low as you can, and then just kind of like let him go and hope for the best.
Is there a rope in a Monster Hunter's pack?
I'd hope so.
All right.
Yeah, I imagine, yeah.
Viceler
lost
reaches
his
into like
rope.
his back robe into a pocket that doesn't look like it should have anything in it, but he starts pulling rope, and it kind of makes you wonder what it was coiled around before he started pulling it out.
And if nobody had responded, Bayshore would have used Cunning Artesian to make one out of the sheets.
Oh, there you go.
I would advise you to use the sheets to gag, bind, and otherwise further incapacitate him, as when he wakes up, as a spell or simple incantation could cause us much trouble.
What does Molly do?
What?
I'm a spellcaster. I just told you.
Just saying.
She throws me out of the second story, bound and gagged in sheets.
Whatever gets you off at night, my mans.
Baysher's tying him off and doing all of that to get it ready, and he's like, all right, so here's the plan. We need to get it back to the shrine. CX, you can be all disguised and stuff, right?
I'm CX, right.
I hope he says that in game.
It might take me a couple times. So I was just like, all right, why is Pat not talking back? I'm looking. He does have disguise self, so yes. The answer is yes.
Vice Lord, you can't make us invisible again.
I mean, I could. I would just need to rest here for a while, and that'd be a little awkward, as you might wake up.
No time.
We could just take him down the hallway and come up with a story if people ask questions.
I look out the window. Obviously there's a drop. Is there bushes? What kind of
It's literally that window faces the same street you were just walking down with people on it. And
okay.
Because that's how you guys saw it.
You can always throw his mattress out and hope he lands on it.
If I peep out into the hallway, is there a window at the end of the hallway that would be at the back of the building?
That's a very good idea. So you open up the hallway door.
I just don't want to peek very quick a crack. I'm not stupid.
And you just look like a random duder right now.
Yep.
Oh, you cast a spell. So did you lose disguise self?
No. Wait. Baysher would say, no, before you do that, can you disguise as this guy?
No. It's good. You
Darn
still
it.
have it.
Huh?
He casts another spell. He can do exactly that, yes.
Yeah, can you I forgot disguise self as a cantrip. Can you disguise yourself to look like this guy?
Yeah, it's a first level spell, not a cantrip. So.
But you can still do it.
Yeah, then yeah. I mean, sure, I'll do it. I'll go for it. It's not a bad idea.
So you look him over and you're just kind of like,
yep.
And now you look like him. Immediately, Baysher's triggered and starts trying to stack you with the sword again.
Starts trying to lick me and gum me to death. Then I'll look myself up and down, look to Baysher, give you like a thumbs up, great idea, and then I'll crack open the door and step out and close the door behind me, and look to see if there's a window at the end, like I was looking for initially at the end of the hallway.
Okay, so you step out and you start walking down to the end of the hallway. Other people are kind of like looking out in the hallway, and one of them says, excuse me, sorry to bother you.
Are we in a tavern or his house?
We're in
apartment complex.
An apartment complex.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, sorry.
Oh, did you hear that noise?
Looking a little confused that I'm being addressed and maybe even a little flustered. That's what I was here checking out, but everything seems to be okay.
I need you to roll me a perform check to pretend to be his voice, because you look like him, but don't necessarily sound like him.
At least it's flat charisma. There we go. I was like, I clicked it a million years ago. 16. That's not terrible.
You sound like, because like I imagine Sax has like a high pitched voice, just because it makes me happy, and so I imagine it's kind of like one of those forced lower voices where it goes, "I've lost your voice," like you. And so it's like you're just kind of like almost like you're hacking up a lung earlier in the day, and so he nods along and says, "Are you okay?"
It's just been a long day.
Make sure you get your rest. Meester's work isn't going to do itself.
Oh, well, thank you for your concern. And gives you like a gentle bow.
Batman out.
You start making your way over to the window and looking at go over to the window. It's like dirty and whatnot, so it takes you a moment to clean it and look out. And you're like, okay, it does definitely aim the other direction, like out and back. The alleyway is not empty. Like there's people out there, but it's like a couple of people kind of like lingering, not like a ton of people. But also the window itself, are you going to test it to see if it works?
Oh, like to lift it? Yeah, I mean, I imagine I would give it a gentle little, is it open or no?
So you like unlatch or whatever, and it does seem to open.
Okay. How many people are down there? Like you said, just a handful?
Yeah, just a couple of people. Do you want to like?
Are they being what might be considered rude at this hour of night?
It's not really that late though.
Oh,
it's
okay.
still sunlight, right?
Oh, is it?
It's just like dusk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So which is why it was like dark enough, and you needed the light and everything. Oh, so no, it's the lantern. That's right. They needed dark vision. They needed the lantern. Roll me a perception check, Michael.
Perception. Wow.
Nice.
Looking out there, you see it's actually a total of 3 peoples. They're sitting around and 3-card Monty.
They're playing cards. Got it. At that, I will head back into the room where Beishra and Vicelor are. Looking over to Beishra. You want to go scare off a bunch of people playing cards in the alleyway?
Well, here's the question: do we really need to? Did everybody go back to their rooms?
We have to go down a floor, don't we? We have to take this body down a floor, which is I'm trying to avoid going through the main lobby area, basically. Everybody's back in their rooms, but we still have to take the body down. I'm trying to see if we can get it out the window at the end of the aisle.
Were there any kind of fire escapes or anything? I'll ask them. Were there any? Yeah, you were outside preceding the building.
No, we're in like medieval ages.
There's no outside stair.
There's a window actually at the end of the hallway. As long as we send him down,
Jump.
as long as we send him down legs first, he might break a couple bones. But he's gonna.
Vicelor has a good point. Can I jump from one roof to another?
You maybe.
If you can get up to the roof, maybe you might be able to. Yeah.
You're carrying a body. I wouldn't expect. That'd be a feat. I don't know that any of us are strong enough to.
So is it night or is it day?
It was dusk as they were approaching, so it's more dusk, closer to nighttime. However, Vicelor brings up a point. Beishra is not exactly strong, and this is a full-grown, regular-sized man.
Yeah. Perhaps we wait until it's darker.
That's true. Yeah, we should definitely wait till it's darker.
We could send one of us, the fastest of us, perhaps Beishra, to go get the carpet, go out in the window in the carpet and fly.
That might not be a bad idea either.
Again, still would want to wait till night.
Yes. Also,
are there any rules here about flying a carpet in the city? Any problems with that?
Another option is we could also go get the half-orc priest guy. Maybe he could pick him up. He's in orc. No, just not here. I don't want to sacrifice in the room. We're like, can we just do a house call sacrifice?
What country just recently had their ambassador just severed into pieces and carried out in bags?
Jesus Christ!
Oh my God!
Perhaps we could fit him into the bag of holding.
Fuck.
Actually, it's a brilliant idea.
I know! That's the problem. None of us know that.
If I was going to fit in the bag of holding, it's a good point.
I hate suggesting it, but he totally would.
But no, we know if we put somebody in the bag of holding, they can't breathe.
No, but that's fine because you know that the air will last long enough to it'll last hours.
Damn it. I need a better in-game reason not to, but I don't have one.
There isn't one.
You just see CX go, you're a genius.
At least this way it's not us that's finding out.
So
I mean, is it really that much of a loss if he doesn't get sacrificed? This is out of game, by the way.
No, I don't think so.
For Thunk, but beyond that.
Yeah.
So does CX immediately Vicelor holds it open? CX immediately starts feeding the bodies.
I mean, it's I imagine it's a CX Vicelor combo of
Well, Vicelor would hold it open, right?
or Beishra.
So he's
CX
he's like doing the whole I'm holding the trash bag, you're holding the trash. That's kind of like meat in the middle. I'm like finagling this side and you're shoving it in.
Sure.
I imagine he puts a foot in.
Is it big enough to get a body in this thing?
Oh yeah. Yep.
All right.
It depends on if depending on how long it takes, he might want Vicelor to rest to see if we could get spells back.
Hey, if his unconscious body rolls evens, he might be okay.
So you start immediately feeding this thing, it's a brilliant idea. And he's like, oh yeah, I thought so. And he pulls it out and he opens it up and he's like, and he himself starts immediately feeding the head in, and you go over there and you got the body and foot 8 feet in, and you're lifting up the legs so he gets the feet in there, and then you're kind of grabbing him by the belt and kind of pushing and shoving it. And the guy's like, shh, stop. And then shoving him in there. And as you're pushing him in, you got your hand underneath the armpit. You gotta push him in, and Mike, can you make me a
I hate you. Well, we learned at least finally.
Yep.
DC?
Maybe. Odds are you're not going to roll it. It's going to be fine getting him in. It's going to be getting him out that'll be the problem.
He'll be missing his legs is the problem.
Oh, he might not even
He doesn't need his legs to be sacrificed.
What am I rolling, Scott?
I'm just making sure.
It's
let's see,
anything,
when
it's whether it's
50% chance. So my apologies. It's actually no
It was
save.
bad before.
You immediately, what happens is as you like reach in and you grabbing, like your arm is like hooked underneath his arm. So it's like your arm's like underneath the armpit, like you're trying to help grandma get up, right? Except you're shoving a dude in the back. And you shove the dude in the back, and all of a sudden you're like helping him try to get this thing in there. He's heavy and Weissler's helping. All of a sudden, Weissler, you feel the bag jerk for a moment, as do you, Syax, as the whole body's kind of like almost like it's just sucked in, like somebody getting a Slurpee through a straw, and the whole body gets pulled in there because your arm is looped under his armpit. You go, ah! And you get pulled into it as well, and so you're just immediately sucked into this bag. While
wait, there's no like he's just sucked in. There's no chance.
Yeah,
of his...
why didn't he?
50% chance you're just immediately sucked in. Now you can start trying to react. So all of a sudden, I was like, he's suddenly sucked in.
Learned your lesson, Vice Lore.
Mike,
well, we didn't know in game.
Mike, the creature inside the bag can use their action to try to escape. You have to make a strength check for me.
Oh God, none of us are good at that.
Oh yeah.
9.
No, God.
Do you have advantages?
You're like trying to pull up and get away. The problem is, as you like let go of that body or whatever and try to get in there, the guy who's like now all of a sudden jerks like like grabs up and he's trying to grab onto your leg and like claw and pull him himself up, like holding onto you and trying to use you. Yeah, and so the two of you like, wait, what the? And you like look at the bag, Weissler, and Basher comes over and looks and you're like, not this again. And you guys are welcome to spend an action to try to reach in and grab.
To go out the window, I'm going to toss the rope that I was going to use for that and throw it in the bag to try to help him get out.
So you try to throw the rope in to try to give him another check.
I do not hold the rope as it goes in. I toss, like, I imagine we like fasten
you have a lasso and you throw all the loose rope in.
Yeah, it's like tied to something. I imagine I tie one into something and I try
to tie it to
go out the window with the rope. That was our first idea.
Yeah.
And I know there's a window in here because that's what fucked us. So I don't know if there's something sturdy that we could have tied that to, but I'm gonna toss the loose into the rope in and like let go of it before it hits the bag after watching him get sucked in.
So it's like go over to the bed, because you already have the rope out there. So you just gotta like snatch up the rope and do like a quick little. So it's just a free action, snatch up the rope, and then you quickly do like a triple, quadruple wrap around the bedpost. Nothing fast.
Basher would tie it.
So you're going to spend your action tying, and you're spending your action throwing it in there, and so on and so forth. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
As opposed to making strength checks.
Yes.
Well, we're hoping
that means
right, here we go.
Mike, you were not supposed to...
Hold on. Here's the important thing. At this point, we think if we reach in, we could get sucked in.
You know that happens.
That's fine. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good, Scott. What happens?
So rather than each of them taking their own strength check to try to like grab you and pull you out, what they're doing together is they're tying off this rope, anchoring it in a safe way, trying to hold the bag still like from the bottom end of it, so it's still like it's not just going to start flopping around everywhere, and grabbing the rope, and then throwing it inside there. Okay. They're giving Syax one more chance,
all right,
with advantage to make a strength check.
One chance?
You each had one chance.
Here we go.
14
won last time.
No,
I don't think it did. I think it's
a DC 15.
Oh no!
We can't cast the axe without Patrick here.
Oh no!
Oh my god! Well, so all of a sudden you throw the rope and he grabs onto the rope and he's holding on to it. And he's like grabbing and he's pulling and he's literally getting to the edge. You guys are getting, and all of a sudden because you're not dumb enough to allow the rope to pull you in, but still you have Basher on the other side holding on to it. Having just finished tying it, you have what's his name? Weissler on one side holding the bag by its bottom and like walking backwards to have the rope pulling itself out. You have Basher on the other side pulling the rope as well, trying to get quicker. And you have Syax climbing up the rope, and you literally see his hand crust over the outside of the mouth of the bag, and he's reaching out, and his fingers just barely about to grasp onto Basher's, but then it's done with the guy. Grabs onto Syax's brand new leg and pulls.
It just took his leg? All right, we can fix that.
It was not detachable.
Scott, we can't kill Patrick's character without him here.
Huh.
Phoenix Spark! Phoenix Spark!
You know what? That's actually not a terrible idea.
If you are reduced to 0 hit points, you can use your reaction to draw on the initial spark. You are instead reduced to 1 hit point.
Oh no, hold on. Any creature that starts its turn inside the bag is devoured. Its body is destroyed.
Yeah, it gets devoured. There's nothing it can do about that.
So it's literally just kind of like, and then just it consumes the body. And all of his items and everything else that's with him too.
You killed the other guy.
The other guy's dead. That's good news. Plans well underway. The other good news is he also had Trini's trinket. So now the last bit of Trini is gone with him.
Okay, that's the good news.
So happy birthday, Wade.
The mask is gone too.
The mask, the coin.
So who wants to sign up for Patreon to help refund Pat all the stuff we just
Oh my
Patrick's
god.
gonna be so pissed.
Well, I'm sure Scott will talk to Pat solo behind the scenes. Don't worry about it.
Well, we can still bring him. Do we have to have a body to bring him back?
Technically, no. Absolutely not. There are spells that can bring him back without a body. They are hella expensive. And even in Faerun, hard to find. But they exist. There's always a fucking way back, is the thing in D&D.
It's literally one spell.
I'm imagining it's Wish.
No. Because Wish can emulate 8th level or lower.
True Resurrection?
True. Yeah.
Okay, that's the other one. All right. Yeah.
The
True Resurrection.
Material component alone is diamonds worth 25,000 gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can come back.
I've got 30 gold pieces.
I've got 19.
Well, okay. When Thunk hears about this, he's gonna be mad that another party member has died.
He knew that there was going to be a thing tonight, so he's probably going to check in with us tonight, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely will. But bringing him back under Grumsh's will and asking for that from the temple might be a surrendering of his soul, and then some. We'll see.
Oh shit! In Discord, Pat just said, "Hey guys, I'm all set. If you want me to join during a break."
No way, you're lying.
No, I didn't.
Oh my god.
There's no way.
Sorry.
That would have been so funny. I'm
changing my name.
Well,
sorry.
This will give Thunk deeper reason to run his puppet strings deeper into Seax's skin, I guess.
This is a good time to remind everyone that Vice Lord did this, not Wade.
I mean, in game,
Maestra didn't fight against it.
No, here's the thing. In game, this is I want to praise you guys for this. You didn't metagame. Like most experienced parties probably would think about it, but then not say anything. But you all thought it. You thought it and said it because it makes sense. Our characters would not know.
Him holding the dude's armpits would be enough to get sucked in, because he wasn't really holding the guy; he was just lifting him
under the arm and hoisting the chest and then shoving him backwards.
I'm sure it has.
That's the way we designed
Here's
it.
the thing: is I'm sure it has an attack range or like.
It's like when you reach into the bag, part of reach. I just made it thematic.
Yeah, it's when the minute something enters the bag, it can chomp.
Either way.
Well.
Okay.
Well, I know.
I don't know, man.
Should we, as the two of you are standing there, like looking like one, and then Vice Lord kind of like peeking around and looking into the bag? Can we just cut to a break?
We'll take a break. Yes. We'll be back in a few minutes, guys.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Don't go.
Stronger than water.
We'll be right back.
I need water.
Soda time.
Hello.
I got Patrick's favorite drink, a Baja Blast, in honor of his untimely demise.
Oh my gosh.
So everyone out there that has a drink in hand, cheers to CX. Scott brutally murdered him for no good reason too soon.
Yeah, what was that Vice Lore?
I didn't have him like
Scott,
grapple
you're
hooking with a rope tied neck to neck and shoe to shoe going to the bag.
Yeah, Scott, you're muted.
We prefer it that way.
Scott's done for the day. What is he gonna do?
Yeah, I know.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah,
The DM's task to kill PCs, right?
Yeah. If you ask,
I mean,
if you ask one of my DMs from when I was
Four PCs, 4 hours, 1 hour, 1 PC.
Hey,
Damn.
Scott, the one thing is you decided how he was helping put the guy into the bag. We never described how you were putting
No, but
it.
the short version is once you put your hand in there, it's just thematics. It was
Yeah, I
going
know,
to
but
happen
I could
50-50.
you could have pushed him by his feet, dragged him in there. But yeah, you're right.
That would have been
Yeah.
really weird for us to be purposefully avoiding putting
Oh,
limbs
yeah.
into the
Oh,
bag.
I know. I know.
Like feeding it like a wood chipper. But now, no wait, CX is dead. I was gonna say, but now CX would want to keep that bag because that could be a great body disposal. You have a portable murder like evidence eater upper.
Horrible. How will I animate dead bodies if we get rid of them?
Well, you can't animate everyone we kill.
Well, literally,
Try.
Basra would want to keep it just for the
Challenge
sake
accepted.
that he thinks it might kill the creature. It might be something that could help us get rid of the
That's
creature.
why you just put the creature in the bag.
That, or he might mention to Vice Lord, maybe you can study this to figure out more about where people go from the creature.
Listen. I don't know why everybody's so upset. Syax's legend will live on in the child he has with the orc.
Oh yeah,
You're like, come on.
Oh, is that how he's coming
His
back?
legacy will be...
Patrick just
Holy
come back
shit.
as that.
Holy shit! Yeah, he gets reborn, but like as this like demon prophecy.
Should we let Pat know? Should I text him and tell him he's dead?
No, he's got so much on his plate right now. I don't want to let him know now. I think it's better to wait.
Yeah, I think I got to talk to him, and I don't care who tells him, but I definitely got to talk to him before next session.
That's
Pat
how
and I
you
have to-
know Scott had nothing up his sleeve to bring CX back. Whenever Scott says, "Yeah, I should have like a one-on-one discussion with X player," you know that whatever happened is for real, not like plot magic.
Yeah.
20 plus years of you being my DM has taught me that much. I've had a
Yeah,
few of those
but,
But
conversations.
like I knew what was going to happen with Thunk. I just didn't tell you for a year and a half. Like I already knew how it played out. Right? And I
But I
teased about
accepted
it for like months and months and months.
But I made that choice
We are
knowing what was going to
bringing
happen.
Patrick back today because we cannot have him not be here and have his character die. That is the ultimate dick move.
Looks
That's
like we're playing till
literally
6
how I
a.m.
felt.
All right. Well,
Patrick
buckle
was
in,
here.
boys and girls. It's going to be a late one. Thankfully,
That-
my podcast was pushed back to 3 p.m. tomorrow, so I can stay up
You are
late.
insane if you think I am staying up that late.
Yeah, I'm like, I got a
Up
kid.
that late.
Yeah, you're the one who rolled poorly to make CX die.
What? I could have metagamed. Would you have wanted me to metagame and say CX knows this is like a bag of devour?
Oh, look,
supposed to be
Wolfie Chan 297 in chat. Wolfie Chan 297 in chat would have survived if they were rolling for CX. Just saying. Thank you, Wolfie Chan 297. CX should have survived if you were playing him.
We're this is true D&D right now. This is how D&D like unexpected deaths make the story more interesting. Even
Yeah,
if
but
the
have you
player
ever had a
comes back.
PC die who's not even there?
Yes. Yes.
That's so shitty.
Multiple
is shitty.
times.
It really is
I
shit.
mean, it's very rare.
I had a
very
player.
rare, very
I
rare,
was
but-
gone. I was gone for a session. I had a player dump poisonous snakes in the tent my character was sleeping in when
That's
I wasn't
annoying.
there, and I almost died from that. But I wasn't there. It
I
happens.
think it was around then that person got kicked out of playing D&D with us, though. So
That's
it was
also
around
very
that-
true.
so
But I'm
it was
just saying,
around that time.
that's not the point I'm trying to make here.
With this shitty people, this is just a shitty situation.
Correct.
Well, I think.
So what? We camera pans back. We have Vicelor peering over the shoulder of Beishra, who's probably looking like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Do I know what just happened or why the bag is this way?
Actually, very likely, Do me a favor. Roll me an
Arcana.
Athletics. I can do that.
Arcana with advantage. Beishra, roll me a flat intelligence, please, and thank you.
All right, flat intelligence.
26.
17.
Beishra, this reminds you very much of a scenario that you were in not too terribly long ago with a companion of yours. As a matter of fact, when Sykes lost his leg, this bag was used to.
The thing that took his leg. No.
This bag was used to cause that extra dimensional rip that you used to get the big giant space hop before, and it's what broke the bag and became a bag of devouring. You remember that.
So
Vice Lord, hold on one second. Vice Lord, you even more so. You don't necessarily whether or not you remember that. I'm sure you do, but it's that you actually realize something. The body is destroyed, but the soul isn't. It's taken elsewhere. Now, most of the time when a body dies, like for instance, when Beishra died before, poor Beishra, or Mike for like at round that one time, your soul hovers over your body for a few moments, and then it travels to the food plane, more or less a plane of just like blah, just a plane of blah.
Emotionless gray nothingness.
Where your soul more or less waits at the RMV to get its ticket to finally be spoken to by its deity and offered salvation in whatever plane that you earned yourself into. If you didn't earn salvation into your deity's plane, you instead are stuck in the Fogue plane and most likely thrown into the wall as the wall of souls that protect all the souls that deserve salvation from the demons that come in, or your soul is snagged by a demon and brought to hell, and that's terrible. And then eventually, theoretically, you go to where your god wants you to go, which is in theory what happened to Beishra and why it was that Beishra was able to come back, right? Unfortunately, you realize that whatever this was, by staring into it, something like within the void in your mind, you realize there's a void within this bag. The soul does not travel from whatever devoured this body into the Foog plane. It holds it, keeps it contained somewhere within itself. For instance, if you were to be angry and just rip this bag and the soul might be lost forever. But this is almost like a portal to something somewhere else. You're not entirely sure, and you know that his soul will not be able to leave it.
Beishra having seen
without his soul will not be able to leave it without actions being. It won't do it naturally.
You have him in a Pokeball that you can't figure out how to open.
There you go. Now go ahead, Tyler. Sorry, thank you for being patient.
Beishra realizing that this was similar would immediately take the action and go to try and actually destroy the bag.
Stop. I would not do that. This is how do I explain to you to put it nicely. I believe Siax's soul is still intact inside here. To explain to you, imagine. Do you remember whenever we took the portal from the other side of the continent to here?
Yes, where I almost got snatched and Siax lost his legs.
Yes, exactly. Good times.
No,
Siax,
what is wrong with you, old man?
is now many things, but that list is too long for now. Siax right now is in that in-between area, whatever that realm may be. However, my understanding is that he's still in here, and we need help with which to bring him out. So we need to keep this with us, at least for the time being. We need to talk to Thunk and see if he knows anyone. I don't know if the temple is even capable of... We need to speak to Thunk, and it's not going to be pleasant. You okay there, Mike?
Beishra would acknowledge that sentence and just say, "As long as the bag stays far away from me," and he throws it to you. Closed, throws it to you.
On the bright side, we accomplished half of part 1 of our mission.
You're right, but it's not time to think about the next kill. It's time to think about the person we just lost.
Let us go back to the temple and await to hear from Thunk.
Agreed. But first, we need to get out here quietly. Are you able to
I guess since... Scott, can we take a long rest here since we don't expect anyone to be coming in or out now?
Yeah. You want to like who gets the floor? Who's the little spoon? How you guys doing this?
Basher would just willingly sleep on the floor.
I think we raid around. We see if Thunk contacts us while we're here, but then once we're recharged, I just want to invisible us and sneak back out.
Yeah. I mean, Thunk would reach out. We will assume he has normal-ish hours that he'll typically reach out around, depending on the activities of the day. But yeah, he'll eventually reach out. It'll be to Bayshore as always, and just ask for an update. 25 words or less, baby. That's it. And I've only got 3 castings of it. We can only have a short conversation. This is not something we can dally on.
I know. He would say.
Does he know the rules?
Yes, he would know about absolutely.
Could we have rehearsed this beforehand then?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. 25 words or less.
So, the bag of holding was what flipped inside out. Is that what happened, Scott?
Basically? No. How it was created? No. What happened? So they took the bag of holding. Yeah, they more or less took the bag of holding and they used it because of there was like the creature that came through beforehand.
Weissler is the one who did it.
The creature that came through beforehand. There was like a planar rift, like between where it was, which is the town you guys had walked into, the priest, and where it was going, which is the town you're currently in that had the devastation. And because the way it teleports isn't just standard, teleportation. It like rips through the actual fabric of reality, kind of like making it so that tear, if you can make your way through that tear, there's no space between this side of the tear and that side of the tear, this side of the world, that side of the world, right? So time space is kind of like, space time, whatever, is folded right there. So what happened was because there was like a bit of a tear in that spot, you guys would never have been able to get through it. It's like trying to fit a third dimensional thing through a 2D opening, right? So instead you took the bag and more or less magic fucked it and turned the bag into a portal of sorts. And then you try to go through. But the problem was that tear wasn't just a tear between this plane space-time. It was to somewhere else too. Something else found its way to here. And so when you finally got to the other side, you ripped the bag out and, that creature that was in that space stayed within the bag.
So here's what we say. Bag of holding, evil, corrupted, portal to another realm, CX and target sucked in, killed. Soul still in bag.
Sucked in, lost.
Soul still preserved in bag.
Weissler says soul preserved.
So that's the message I get when I say,
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Scott, would I know what bag of devouring is?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not necessarily. Sorry.
Would I know? Should I say a more specific and more relevant question? I guess. Would I know if the temple would be capable of getting that soul out of there and using? I know they could do true resurrection already at a cost. Like a huge
You don't necessarily know they can do true resurrection though.
That's true.
He cast resurrection before.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's a resurrection, 2 resurrections, 4 character levels.
So I wouldn't even know if they could bring him back.
Correct.
Okay.
So we need to go grind that guy some XP.
I'm just counting words real quick. CX's loss is unfortunate, but irrelevant. The army marches. Do you need more time?
We still have a week, right?
I still have fucking 200 fucking orcs that are on a warpath. What do you want me to do? Stop them and be like, guys, pick flowers for a week. We need time.
It's more than 200 because I had 100 myself. You had like 50.
That's the point. Is like we just I have a fuck ton of orcs. We have a mission. That's just how it's gotta be.
Bayshore would acknowledge the mission and probably respond. How much time do we still have before they hit the city, Scott?
Just over a week.
I would say.
And that's not the whole force. That's just the suiciders.
That's just the suiciders?
Yeah, the full force hits like 4 days after that. No, sorry, like 2 days after that.
No, because we have a small force with us. The suiciders are the mountain ones.
That's what I'm saying. The mountain ones will hit in just over a week, and then Mike hits like 2 days after that.
Okay.
Because the mountain ones are going to do poisoning when they arrive.
Right.
So
right.
They're basically getting hit by 3 waves of shit.
Bayshore would respond. Currently, need more information. time is of the essence, but currently unnecessary.
Okay, he wouldn't respond to that then and would take that as confirmation that you're fine for the night. Gotta preserve my spells in case shit goes poor. Well, so you enjoy a nice room or nice apartment for the night.
Well, hold on. Mike said words to you. Did you respond, Tyler?
He did.
I
He
just
responded to me.
Oh,
and
I'm
then
sorry. I wasn't listening because I thought it was out of game chatter. I'm sorry.
No. What he said was in game chatter. I said Thunk would take that as a. He basically said times of the essence, but we're good on time still. So
Yep.
no, Thunk would not reply to that and just let the night go. Be like, all right, that's your confirmation that you're still on task, regardless of CX's death.
Long rest happens. You guys wake up the next day feeling guilty.
You take the guilty modifier.
Yep. That's a +1 to attack rolls. -1 feelings.
Well, this will be the second time I've lost CX.
He only lost his leg before. Calm down.
Well, no. 'Cause
No.
whenever he was Axis or whatever his old name was, he was a companion that died.
Oh,
Is Viceler saying that to Beishra?
He might actually mumble it to himself. Like, you might overhear it, and he'd be like, the second time I've lost him.
He only lost legs before.
Not entirely true. He existed as a different person in the past, but the Phoenix, well, as you've seen him do before, he can rise with the power of the Phoenix. However, that wasn't a thing in the past. Long story. In the meantime, I suppose we have another target to take care of, and perhaps the library will have the knowledge we need to bring CX back once we take it.
You're not wrong. But first we need to get out of this place. Let's head back quickly and quietly. And we'll discuss the plan for today.
Is there a building in town that you can go find out like the average value of like how much the library's worth?
You're just gonna go ask people how much the library's worth?
Well, no, but you know, some like in modern day times, you can just go on like,
Figure out the
so one second. I'm so sorry. People are assuming that it was Thunk's stats that rolled because above the rolls it says Thunk's name. However, that's just simply Mike doesn't have as at the bottom of the Roll20 chat window. His as is his basic account, which is Thunk, which is the Mathis Games avatar. The word Thunk, because Mike, as a favor to me, has his name inside this actual game.
See, I can
Thunk.
change it if I want.
Yep, and then you can say something that says, "Yeah, you're oh Jesus Christ,
your
thiness." However, it would still be Syax's attributes that he's using to make the roll.
Correct.
Syax does have a strength modifier of 0. So,
and it is CX's player sheet.
Yep, it is 100% accurate. I just wanted to make that clear before anybody else got confused, YouTube, Twitch, or anywhere. Okay. And thank you for asking. Moving on. Good, Wade, you were asking specifically about whether or not a book would have value, whether or not you could find out that value, so on and so forth.
No, the library itself he was asking about.
Does the library itself have value?
Well, like,
Sure,
what would he be able to find the value?
The idea Vicelor's having right now is we take the city, we ransack the library, not only for the knowledge to destroy the creature, but also for basically true resurrection spell, and then hopefully be able to get enough money from taking over the city to be able to afford to cast it.
I mean, very unlikely you're going to be able to find the spell True Resurrection unless it's in scroll form.
Well, that's what I mean.
And even there, it's very unlikely any of you have. Maybe Wade has the means of actually utilizing that scroll as a hard maybe.
Even if I don't, we can find someone who does, and the more value we can offer them to just cast it, the less price Patrick will have to pay.
Gotcha. But a scroll itself, the actual value of a scroll itself is the same value as the material components as well as
Don't care about the value of the scroll, just the value of what we can get from ransacking the city to pay for the 25, whatever the cost was you said to cast the spell.
Understood. So then going back into what the original plan was, as your characters sitting there probably going back and forth for a while, trying to deliberate, like, I don't know what required to cast a spell. I imagine it's a lot. I mean, he said it was a lot for the other spell, and this is an even greater one because the soul isn't even attached to a body anymore. We don't have a body anymore.
Is this after we get out or before we get out?
It's probably while you're having the conversations in, or whatever beforehand.
During the rest, I'm contemplating.
And so you guys are kind of like talking about what it is you could do, and then it's like, well, how are we going to be able to find the funds for this? Maybe we could ransack the city, says Beishra. There's a thieves guild. Perhaps we just attack them and take their goods and so on and so forth. It's important we do this task, but obviously sucks. Blah blah blah. But then you realize something there, Wade. That library, the one that you're trying to break into anyways, the knowledge that you already need, it's very well guarded by the rulers of a nation controlled by a majocracy. It's very likely within that library itself, there are some, perhaps many books of value, maybe lesser value that all add up, or maybe there you could even just find one book of just, that's worth 2 diamonds, bitch. You know what I mean? Like maybe inside the library.
That's what I was thinking. Is the books inside the library?
Correct.
Because if they're guarding it, there's going to be a lot of knowledge, and that knowledge is worth something to somebody.
But as for the ability to cast resurrection, no, because it's arcane, not divine. But now that he's thinking, with Wade's thinking face, arcane, not divine, yes, perhaps not bringing them back in a conventional sense, but there are arcane magics that allow people to come back unconventionally. He burps and tastes flesh for a moment.
Well, I would go into the library and do some research, but they don't like me.
Well,
We'll find a way to bring it back, CX. Yes. In the meantime, while during today's day, we should perhaps take care of the other task.
That was my thought as well.
Take out aggression on a feeble old lady, a young man, whoever.
First, we need to get out of this place without attracting attention. Oh my God, Scott. You rolled a 20 in chat. With that.
That's cruel.
That is absolutely cruel. Anyway, Vicelor. Invisible again. We need to get out of here without being noticed.
Well, he'll just like slap you on the forehead and cast invisibility on us both.
All right, let's go.
Before we go, what was we found the magic item last time, right? What was it? Like, was it a pair of robes or something? There was something magical in here.
It was he had the his wardrobe had nice like clothing inside of it, and then when you cast the spell, you saw the magical aura emanating from over in that area, the wardrobe itself area.
Did we ever figure out exactly what it was in there?
Nope.
Well, before we go during the rest, I would have tried to figure that out at least. See if we can find, I mean, something of value either to help us or to sell.
Yeah.
You find a secret door that you tumble into a mystical, fantastical world with a large recreation of Jesus as a lion and all sorts of other Christian stories. Yeah.
The wardrobe.
No, but you do actually find a magical like robe that's inside there. You can try to identify it.
Real quick, before we head out.
Arcana check.
Arcana?
Mm-hmm.
All right. 13.
You unfortunately cannot identify it, darling.
That's okay. I'll toss it in one of my bags and I'll try it again later.
Not the bag of devouring.
Not that bag.
And that's the only robe, that the magical item?
Right.
All right. Well, let's go. Made us invisible. Do we need to roll stealth on our way out?
Not really. You guys aren't trying to break in. You're not trying to like pick any locks or anything. You just wait for the right moments because you have an hour to do so, and then make your way out as quietly as you can.
Have
and
you
guys
done
get out.
Reconnaissance on this other person too? Do we know where they are and what they do?
Not so much the one from the Temple of Mask, but the Temple of Denier. Yes, actually, he went and spoke with her.
Yeah.
Is that the target?
Well, let's get. Beisher and Weissler still need to talk.
Okay, that's fine. We can go back to the temple.
Yeah,
I'd like to make a donation to your temple. I brought you a whole bunch of books in my bag of holding. Here, take one. Oh, hey. Ah!
Not a bad idea.
No, it's not.
He's collecting souls.
Beisher would, when we got back to the temple, Beisher would go, Weissler, I'm contemplating switching who our second target is. The reason being is I think that the one, the scribe person could be of use in helping us at the library.
Well, what was your reason for omitting the other one to begin with?
It was Thieves Guild squabble. No place, no necessity, and I decided to remove it with the offering of my dagger. But it may make for a better target if the other one could be of use. Could you go talk to them, and I'll go check out the Thieves Guild target, the Priest of Masks or whatever.
I should go speak to who exactly then?
He would explain it's the
target that's no longer the target.
The target that we're considering not being the target.
Even for my brain, that is a bit much, but yes. Can you point me in the right...
It's towards the library. In fact, it sits adjacent to the library.
They like me there. That works. He like chuckles to himself. I guess. I will try to figure out what we can do about CX. Having him against this creature could be very beneficial. I fear that our assault on the city, well, that's a lot of temptation for the creature. We may be encountering it sooner than we'd like, and it'd be nice to be at full strength before that happens. I have no evidence of this, but it is a thought that has crossed my mind. So, as you're committing to your plans, keep in mind that stay vigilant.
Of course, you as well. We can't be losing another one of our comrades, even if it is you. He would kind of smirk at.
It seems that we lose one of us about once a week. At twitch.tv/Lost Initiative show.
Very true.
All right, so Beisher would then, from getting back, head towards where the masks group is and the other target that was mentioned.
Okay, so you're going to start heading over in that direction because Wade's is the easier one. I'm going to focus on that one first. You have Wade kind of, what's his name, Weissler, kind of meandering his way around the city, trying to find where it is that he's going, trying to find the temple, and getting distracted as he goes, stopping and sniffing some lady's hair because he thought it smelled dusty, and when she freaked out a little bit, he's like, "Oh, just one taste," and never mind, and continues on, and eventually makes his way over towards where the massive library is, and he stands there looking up at the library like, "Oh, I bet all the secrets inside there." Shrugs, and then goes over to the other teeny tiny sad looking library adjacent to it, and just across the street to the side. And you stand outside that one, it's yep, no, it's unimpressive. And you go to the library, same as I said to Tyler before. You reach for the doorknob, you turn it, you push, and it opens.
Fascinating. This door works like most other doors.
You go in.
I guess I'll walk inside like I do most of the doors that I open.
So he starts walking into the door. As soon as beforehand, there's like a front area there, but something there's a receptionist sitting around waiting to be like, "Oh, hi, how can I help you?" So he goes in, kind of looks around for a little bit.
That's the receptionist, me.
Yeah, that's what I was confused about.
I was going gnomish in my head. Sorry, so not Weissler. So he goes in and looks around, and nobody's there, and goes in a little bit further, and eventually kind of see sitting on a chair is a like rather plump looking man who's kind of like his big hairy arm and whatnot is resting on a table as he's slowly scribing the
former YouTube content creator.
He looks up and he looks up at you, and he gives you that look of like somebody that lost their soul countless years ago. Their dreams have been shattered.
Relatable.
And he has that faint smell of living in mom's basement again. So, and he looks at you and says, "Yeah."
Is this a temple or a library or what is this?
Good question. Both?
Are you the priest? I would know this person's like thing, right? Designation. Is it a priest that I'm looking for?
Yeah, it's a high priestess of Daenerys here.
I'm looking for the high priestess of Daenerys.
Gestures further into the library.
Like do an awkward bow. Mm-hmm. He'll talk to himself right in front of the guy and be like, "See, that wasn't so hard, no, was it? No." And he'll keep walking in.
When you go in, you walk all the way to the back, similar to how Basher did beforehand. Getting all the way back there, you see at the very back there is a bit more of an open space where there is a woman that is standing over by a table, but she's standing with her face like turned towards you, half sitting, half standing on the table that is at the very end of this little corridor across the room where you're entering. And she's thumbing through the book that she's holding looks brand new, like it was just printed sort of a thing. And she's just kind of slowly thumbing through it as she's distracted reading into it. Doesn't seem to notice you as you enter. And I imagine you shuffle your feet.
Oh, I'm sure he's stumbling in there a little bit. So he'll walk up and he probably looks contemplative. Like if she looks up or notices him at all, she'll see he's like trying to come up with the right words to make an introduction. So I don't know if she'd say something first or wait for him to finally get his words right.
Okay. She noticing you, she goes, "Oh, hi." Closes the book, gets up and says, "How can I help you?" As she doesn't like really look at you anymore, goes over to a shelf. The shelf looks like this whole bookcase that she goes up to. Looks like it has a whole bunch of newly printed books. And
what is her race?
Human.
Okay.
And she's sliding the book onto one of the shelves over here. And then she makes her way over from like sliding that book on to go and stand in front of you.
Well, that's a complex question, as there are. Well, anyway, besides the point, there's many things I could have help with. But I suppose to begin with, what do you know of other planes of existence?
There have been many books written about them. Many of them true, some of them more so, and many more than that, none so. It's a pretty interesting topic where it can certainly get your head in a twirl if you don't have a basic understanding.
Excellent. I'm glad you said that. So he will pour out in like a very articulate for him manner almost and just start like spitting out things about some of the planes and his understanding. And basically, without saying what happened, he will talk about a soul possibly being trapped in one of these planes. And ultimately, and therefore, the soul without the body is still in one piece. But the question is how to pluck it out. Oh, there's a bunch of microphone.
Roll me. Sorry.
If you have any ways of helping me bring back not only a friend but a potential warrior in a battle against the creature that devastated this city.
Roll me a charisma check flat to convey your message well.
That's a good roll.
She understands perfectly what you're saying, and she's like, oh, that sounds absolutely horrifying. Huh. Okay. Well, first and foremost, the soul would have to be released before it can be put back into someone's body. But even to be put back into someone's body, you would have to have a bit of body. I mean, even a resurrection, which is, well outside the typical understandings of most mages, even resurrection requires something of the body, a couple of fingers, ashes, something of the body. To put a soul into a newly fabricated body, you would require something a bit more powerful. Magics that most people don't have. Then there's other ways, but
there's nothing that I'm not willing to explore. As you see, He'll like motion. The creature that has, well, devastated this city, and he'll like pull out his hand, like, and 4 others I have lived in. We have a way to defeat it, but CX is a critical part of this plan. We have consulted with he'll like motion the divine, and found that the knowledge, we're this close to having a way to destroy this creature in order to do it. And I need to find a way to bring his soul back and put it into a body so that we may stop this from ever happening again. He'll look into her eyes and just like, I've lost too many already. And if we have a chance of stopping this from happening again, there's no price too high, as the ultimate price has already been paid.
Did the lizard die?
What?
Oh, just yesterday or a couple days ago, there was a lizard man that came in here, and he was asking me about that same creature.
No, this is a devil man. Tiefling.
Oh, yes. We call it tiefling in this region, but
nobody's perfect.
I can see that, but we're not judging.
He's like itching his armpit and taking like a little sniff. Excellent.
Which most people that pronounce it that way do often. So she says, well, there are other ways. Specifically to bring him back with presence of mind, you could do. But even those things would fabricate a body from the soul. It's questionable magics, to say the least. Certainly ones that are explored by the peoples of this land. But they're taxing on the soul itself.
Let
me ask you a question.
In another plane of existence without a body is probably pretty taxing as well.
Yeah, but I suppose even though I am faithful, I don't know much about the afterlife. I only know about the experience of this one. And
well, this soul doesn't get to go to the afterlife, so I believe even if this were to be taxing, at least upon another death, he could pass on to another plane of existence that is the afterlife, rather than just being stuck in the in-between.
Well, I actually read this incredible novel by Dolphin Vahin, and it was actually talking. He was actually talking about the fact that after your
perfect.
Well, it was the concept of afterlife in general, and she goes over to the book, and she pulls out the shelf and pulls out a book. This is like an old, beat up book, and she's like talks about the concept of what is afterlife, because obviously we always contemplate it, and the fact that he has died in a very real sense. This is technically his experiences, whether it be stuck or have continue on to another plane. This is his afterlife. But that's not even the meat of the book. The best part of the book is, what if the people that die and come back, is their return to this world still considered their after? I'm getting off topic, aren't I?
A bit, but I do that all the time. No worries. That we work together to bring back CX, and then find a way to stop this creature once he is back. But he's a critical component of the force needed to stop it.
The magics that I don't suggest, but know exist, very well may exist within the walls of my neighboring library.
Well, as you see, he'll like flick his ears. I'm unable to enter said library. Could I perhaps beg your assistance to retrieve?
No. I cannot do that. You have to understand, above all else, I'm faithful to my God, my Lord, and for me to enact his, to service him well, I need to have access to the library myself. I will forever lose access and potentially even my life if I were to aid to somebody else in such a task. I cannot retrieve a book and bring it to you. I don't even know if a book like that would be allowed to leave the library. But I do have to ask, did he have a purpose in life? I don't mean he liked knitting. Did he have a drive?
Well, you see, he has an interesting life story. He has a purpose here, yes, indeed. And he was fully exploring what that purpose was whenever, well, one thing led to another, and he ended up bodiless.
He died in the middle of a task of a lifelong pursuit.
More like a subsection A point I of said pursuit, but overall, yes.
Huh. The story almost writes itself. It just needs a little nudge. The soul would have to be freed the right way. Are you familiar with how it is that you can reach through planes?
Well, have I done it? Yes. Do I have a full understanding of how it should be done? Imperfect, but a work in progress.
You would need something to retrieve the soul and bring it back. There are a few different ways that you can do that.
Nothing as simple as a pair of tongs, I'm guessing. I know it will work.
She looks past you for a moment.
Just speaking to myself, don't mind me.
I don't actually. It's kind of nice spending time with you. So there is a.
What's her name?
Stop. She is a high priestess sworn to celibacy in the name of Daenerys.
She just likes spending time with you, brother? I'm just asking questions.
It's not Trini.
Trinigarian?
It's not Trini.
Daenerys
not-
Trinigarian?
No, it is not Trini because you named her when I was talking to her before.
Oh yeah,
I just don't remember what it was.
Oh yeah, check the VODs. Chat, does she have a name? I don't think she do. I don't think she do. Daenerys Trinigarian.
Ah, yes, it was Barbara.
It was Barbara.
Vice Lord takes out a dagger and slits. No.
Oh my god. Her name is Barbara. She's
That's a very high priestess like name.
Barbara O'Houlihan.
She's not Barbara. So what was she saying? Get back on
So
topic.
she didn't ask her name yet, anyways.
Thank God, but I never will.
So my apologies. She says there are different ways that you can retrieve it. Being able to travel to the plane itself, have something that can catch it as it transitions from the one plane to the other. You can have something that kind of catches it along the way.
He's gonna pull out the bag as she's speaking. Well, the plane of existence in question is and this and he'll kind of like show her the bag of holding, but like he's holding it very carefully.
You have it caught in a bag?
You see, this is not a typical bag. It was at one point in time a magical bag, a bag of holding. I'm sure you've heard of those.
It devours.
Yes.
She actually goes over to the walks like past you, like almost brushing past you. It goes in back and goes over to the shelf where that guy was, like the big guy that was like writing before. Reaches like leans over and reaches like over his head and like grabs a book and then comes back around and comes over to you. And as she's like kind of like thumbing through it, and she stops on a page and you can actually see like there's literally it's almost like a sketched out anatomy of a bag of holding inside there. She's like,
oh, they reproduce. Interesting.
Oh, no. Unless you see something in here that I don't.
I wouldn't look too hard. How do we get the soul out of the bag?
He's on ink splotching, got excited. So she goes, well, I just don't know. So another thing you could do is you could summon a soul eater and send the soul eater, give it his name. And the soul eater can go and try to collect his soul to devour it, and on its passage back through, destroy the soul eater yourself and recollect the soul that way. Maybe you can make a bargain with a devil. Devils do a wonderful job of collecting souls from hard to reach places, and they could transfer between planes.
Do I know much about my patron? Is my patron capable of this kind of thing?
Oh, you said patron.
Oh, it's so adorable.
Your
Oh my gosh.
Your patron, which is the Elder Evils, they exist elsewhere.
Great.
They
So
do their own fucking weird thing.
Well, I had to
You're
have
not
spoken
the-
to it. I made the pact somehow, some way, right?
Yeah, it was when you were dying.
Oh,
Remember?
which time?
Exactly. And now you're more useful and powerful. So, and you still died again.
I'm not very powerful. Vice
Tyler.
Lord knows he's not very powerful.
Hey, don't look at me like that.
You're the one that killed
I
him.
didn't cause the death of CX. That was you.
No, that's the X. Vice Lord.
Oh yeah, when
Oh, I know I caused Vice Lord's
like
death
coughing
because
up
I
blood,
didn't
it's like-
know how it worked.
Oh my God! I just realized we've had 4 deaths in this campaign.
is that it?
Yeah,
We've had 4 deaths. Though one of them was planned. One of them was intentional.
Bofgrim.
Yeah.
Bofgrim, Beishra came back. You died, and CX died.
So moving on, pushing on with the story. So you're gonna have to find a means to collect the soul. You're gonna have to do that on your own. But within the library itself, I mean, you might find there's an old tome. You speak Infernal?
No.
You learned a whole bunch of languages when you put that earpiece on.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what all languages I know from the earring.
Yeah, because you had said he learned like a whole bunch of stuff as well as languages.
We were supposed to go over that at one. I think we were supposed to go over that one time. We never did. So I don't know what languages that was.
1 second.
I know Deep Speech, Orc, Elvish, and Common by myself.
Yep. So I'd say not Infernal. So she asks, do you know Infernal?
I know of it. I do not. I'm not fluent.
Let me write down a book title for you. And she goes over and she grabs a pen and a little, almost like a card you would find like a library. Remember the old card catalog. And for you kids, what they used to be when you went into a library, you know what? Never mind. It would take too long to explain. Just fucking
What's
Google
that
it.
one thing called? Something fish. Oh God.
Oh gosh, yeah.
What?
Oh no.
Oh, for like
papers.
Yeah,
something
I
fish.
know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah.
Oh, what was that called? I think they referenced it on Stranger Things season 3, didn't they?
I haven't seen all of it yet, so
I
Okay.
don't know. I haven't watched.
I don't think it's a
don't
big
watch
spoiler that they
Stranger Things.
referenced something from the 80s in
fair,
the
fair.
show, but
Would you say Stranger Things? I got bored in season 2 and stuff. The brain's not working. Sorry. So she says, "Let me write it down for you." And writes like a little card. These strange runes that look very foreign to you, and the runes themselves seem to. If you ever look at them, they almost seem to like shift and glow ever so like subtly enough that you're like, "Am I crazy for seeing this?" In such a way that it almost like affects you.
what affects me?
The runes she writes on the paper. I'll show you the title of the book.
Okay, well, it affects me in what way?
Like, it's unnerving.
Can I roll insight to see if I'm getting any kind of feeling from her now that I've got this? Now I'm
Yeah.
uneasy.
Absolutely, go right ahead.
Whew, that was almost a 1, baby.
Yeah, that was almost the one.
Absolutely, you definitely do get a feeling from her. You have an erection, but you honestly.
I've seen that in 30 years.
You've cured me.
I found my Viagra. It's this symbol.
The rune of erection.
You need Barbara.
Yeah.
Rune erection.
Stop. Don't say Barbara. Just say the High Priestess, please.
So, anyways, so you seem to trust her. She doesn't seem to be doing anything, or she doesn't seem to be off-putting in any way.
This rune, what does it mean exactly?
It's not just a rune. It's a string of runes. She says, gesturing along the line.
Yes, that's what I meant. What does it say? What does it mean?
It's the title of a book.
Why would it? What can I roll to see if I know why just reading the title would affect me?
Nothing.
Even just read. I'll just be frank with her. Even just reading this title makes me feel strange.
Oh, that's not the title. It's the language. The language itself is innately evil. Here, look at this one. And she writes something else in a language that you don't understand. And she shows it to you, and it makes you feel warm. Almost like a good fortune cookie.
Oh, fascinating. I did not know such things could make me feel this way. Fast, I'll have to explore this.
This right here is celestial. It's the word of the goodly gods and angels and the like. I
Any
literally
language to get rid of back pain.
Well, I in this one I wrote a funny little haiku, but either way, no, nothing like that.
All right, so I'll gather these books, find a means to read them. I suppose you've been very helpful already. I don't imagine you would be able to assist us in this task.
I wish that I could. Were you to find yourself in the library, permitted you in there, I could aid someone within the library because you have your own permissions. But I find it highly unlikely. It's going to be impossible for you to find yourself invited in that library.
Yes,
sorry.
I believe that. I have to find somebody else to go in on my behalf. But finding someone to trust, tough to do in a city of people that don't like my kind necessarily.
I don't have a qualm with you whatsoever. I'm not from here. I'm just stationed. I'm sorry, what was your name?
Weissler.
It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Bakhaintenko Funton, but you can call me Barbara for short.
I'll stick with High Priestess.
No, that's a title. It's so informal. I mean, you could call me Bontango Fungun if you'd like, but Barbara's just so
Fandango, I appreciate your help.
Oh, see, you're just slaughtering the pronunciation. Most people do. Just say Barbara. You can even say Barb. One person said baloney Barb this one time. But I didn't get the reference.
I met a man named Scott in person. I'm going to cut off his penis. Yes.
I can actually introduce you to a Scott. He's a lovely man. Grows a brilliant beard and has a full head of hair.
Cutting it right off and shoving it in his ear.
His full head of hair, not ear. Despite being older than certain other people's.
Do you have these books here in this library? Or are these ones that I have to find in the library?
To make this fair, I'm clicking on a random name generator right now. Adamina Storm.
Adamina, nickname Barbara. Hey, John's nickname is Jack. I don't make this shit up, okay?
Excuse me, you seem to be zoning out. If you could come back down.
She was chuckling to herself. A bad joke is made in the background, in the back of her mind. She says, in the library next door.
Is there anyone you trust that could get access to the library? I would pay them for the efforts.
I don't think you understand the consequences for doing something like that.
I probably do not, but desperate times.
For other people.
Yes, but as I have said, my intentions are noble at best, if not a little bit unconventional at worst.
Roll for me, sir. Diplomacy.
Or persuasion?
That one. I played Pathfinder this morning.
22.
It's pretty good.
She thinks kind of like uneasily. She even for a little while makes that face like she's got some like gas pains or something. And she's like, I know somebody who's part of the current task of reorganization. They're not going to get you anything. They're not. I'm not going to set that up. But maybe they can at least confirm that this book is in there.
Well, perhaps if you just make an introduction, then your hands are out of the equation entirely at that point.
They would not be. I'll do this favor for you. I feel bad for your situation. Besides, it's a really good book.
Well, it's everyone's situation if the creature comes back.
Perhaps if you pray to Ogma. Ogma believes that all should have the knowledge of the world. Perhaps Ogma will give you the blessings that you need to enter that temple. But as a priestess of Denier, it's simply my job to record knowledge, not necessarily to spread it.
I will think on this. So in order to get this information, should I meet this person or should I just come back here and you can let me know?
Come back in 2 days.
Very well.
Sorry about your friend.
Same. And sorry for, well, all of this plane of existence if we don't get him back. And with that, he'll walk out.
Okay, she immediately turns around. You can actually hear her incanting a spell and going into doing the work she was doing before. Okay, you leave. Tyler.
Yep.
You go looking for the organization of the rogues.
Target. The target that was mentioned with regard to the is it the god of masks?
Mask. His name is Mask.
Mask.
He's the god of thievery. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you go to find the priest of this god. Yeah, but it wasn't just the priest that was of interest. It was also his 3 students. And his actual suggestion was, if you can convince the students to return to the fold, that would be better.
Oh, I don't remember that. Return to the fold as in return to that his guild?
Correct.
Okay. That's fair. So he would be looking for those 3 students then.
Roll for me, sir. A persuasion, no, investigation to learn about this.
Do I have advantage because of the information I already have as a thief and the information I was given about them from the other guy?
I'm going to say no, but only because Sax died.
Okay. Natty 1. I have no clue where they are.
You do not. You have no clue absolutely where they are. The good news is you do know where their boss is.
All right.
It was procured for you beforehand by...
I will watch to see if the students return as far away as I can and as stealthily as I can, not looking like I'm paying attention.
How long are you willing to wait?
All day.
In 1 day, you learn nothing.
All right. He would then return. He would return back to the. He would probably stay for a bit during the night just to see, but then once he needed to rest, so maybe taking 1 exhaustion, he would then head back.
And when you head back, why don't we take a quick little break? When we come back, we can have you and Vice Lord kind of reconvene, and then have you head back out to do your task.
Sounds good. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're back. Nap time is over, Scott. Wake up, Grandpa.
Well, he kept talking to me during break, and I just wanted to sleep.
Yeah, he took his headphones off, but Scott. I also apparently pushed up my.
Kept calling his phone, texting him.
Yeah.
I say we make the next character, because Pat's not coming back. I say that the character that Pat makes instead, we have him make a Kenku. Now, in case you don't know, Kenku can't speak.
Okay, we're not giving Pat a raccoon, and Pat speaks too much to not be able to speak.
No. They're not raccoons. They're Kenku.
A kinky raccoon. I got you.
It's like a bird.
Exactly, but they don't speak. They only mimic. So they can only say things they've already heard, doing the best they can to mimic the voice of the person.
I grew up with a blue and gold macaw. Honestly, don't need that in a D&D campaign.
Honestly, don't need that in a D&D campaign.
Don't need you in a D&D campaign.
Oh, sick burn.
Don't need you. Sick burn. Don't need you. Sick burn.
Sick burn.
Oh, don't need you. Sick burn.
So I'm going back to the temple just to get back into it. And Tyler, you said you camped out. You didn't find anything, so you're going back to the temple too, right? So that was where we're coming back to our little session. So I guess when you get back there, I'll have been there for a little while. And you'll probably walk into Weissler kind of like pacing back and forth. He might not even notice you walk in because he's just thinking. He'll occasionally like, and you'll see him going there.
Okay.
Acer would mention, couldn't find anything.
I have, I have a thought, and it is not a great thought, but it's a thought nonetheless. So we had temporarily thought of taking off the target off of the priestess's back because she could have information valuable to us, and she did actually have valuable information. It was very helpful, and she's currently on a task to help me gather some info. And in 2 days' time, I will know whether or not there is a couple of books of knowledge that could possibly help us bring back CX. And once I know that answer, her use to us is null and void, and she could go back to being the target. Rather dark, sad, kind of sad. But the more important factor here is we are about to commence war, and with war, there will be casualties. And if we can limit the casualties on our side and have a cleaner, successful takeover of the city, we have a more likely chance of getting into the library being intact, getting the information we need to bring back CX, and also the information we need to defeat the creature. So greater good on my moral compass of don't really give a shit, but if I did, that'd be it.
Are you sure she wouldn't continue to be of use after the library's been taken?
No more use than probably another priestess would be. And being as we have Thunk and we have all of Thunk's priests and priestesses, I'm sure we can find similar information elsewhere. She seemed as if she had given me all she could. And then more than I wish she had.
This book you found.
I did not find the book. I simply have titles.
Or this book that she showed you, or however it works. I don't know. It's written language.
Yeah, you read them.
Yeah. Anyway, would you be able to use it to bring CX back?
I would need either someone who can read this language or to have a spell cast on me to be able to read them, but it is doable.
Do you think you could find somebody that can read that language? Obviously, if she wrote it, she can read it. So still
I'm
seems
sure
useful to me.
Thunk may even have the ability to read and write various languages. So that is not too difficult. The more difficult task will be pulling CX's soul out of the bag of devouring, in case you're curious of the name, and finding a vessel with which to put the soul into, or creating a vessel. Not sure exactly how that will work. We apparently need to have some of CX's DNA. Don't know if there's like a hair lying around, if that'll be enough, what we need. That is a question.
The purpose of removing this person was to stop what they were preaching. They wanted them killed, but wouldn't it work the same if we just took her?
That depends on, I don't know the deal you made word for word, or if they will find out or know or suspect. The task needs to be done. I will leave it to you to decide which way is best to handle it, as this is your area of expertise. I'm simply the genius. Like, pat himself on the shoulder and he'll talk to himself a little bit, and then you think you hear a fart, and he kind of like sniffs the air a little bit, and then he shrugs.
Let's get some rest. I have an idea of what I want to do tomorrow.
Does CX have? He would have had possessions, right? He didn't have everything on him when we went into this place, so he would have possessions he left at the temple. Can I search whatever a bag or whatever he left behind for hairs or fingernail clippings or pieces of him?
Or just search the temple itself.
It needs to be more than just a fingernail clipping. It needs to be a part of their body for the resurrection spell.
A hair with the root still attached.
It needs to be a part of your body. A small amount of blood droplets, so that's not enough for resurrection to work. It needs to be like a destroyed body, like gone through a wood chipper, but still around. You know what I mean? Like the ashes of it post cremation, like stuff like that. You know, something that's very, very real, so not just like
didn't crop off whenever he was like trying to reach out last minute.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It can't just be like, he sneezed and a booger came out and you're like, oh, well, this works.
Basher would step away and say, and pause for a second, and then before he went to his wherever he sleeps, he'd turn back to Vicelor and say, "You say a body's needed, or wait, did Vicelor ever say a body was needed back before?"
A piece of his body, some of his body, yes.
Would a piece of somebody else's body suffice? Would that aid in the resurrection? Could you put
not for a simple resurrection? If we have the soul and no part of the body, well, that's a little bit beyond my area of understanding, so we will have to do further research. However, I have the hope and belief that this great library of knowledge, if it has knowledge of how to pull a soul out of a bag of devouring, may in fact have an idea of what to do with it after the fact.
And also, therefore, have the information we need to defeat this creature. All right. Again, I have an idea of what I want to do tomorrow. I'll see you then.
I'm not leaving. I'm going to be here.
I'm going to sleep. My eyes will close. I won't see you.
Unless you wake up, have to pee. In which case you probably will. Nonetheless, I will take the hint now and
Basher will sigh and also look to the floor and be like, I'm hungry, and walk back out of the temple and go find a whole bunch of any sort of rodent, anything running around and eat.
You just reach underneath the mattress and like, ah!
Yeah. Fall asleep with it in his hand, just like.
All right, so next morning, next day, now you guys are just going to push on for one more day, just like allow another day to pass so you can speak to this guy?
Basher is actually going to go to the shop that he went with CX a while back.
Sure.
And say, I've lost my comrade. I need to speak and talk terms again. There are options, and I have questions.
Meet him tonight.
Is there anything Vicelor does? Basher would go by himself.
He just needs to have another day pass so he can go and talk to the ladies, dude.
Yeah, so honestly, not really.
Okay, so he would just go to the meeting then that night?
Yep, Vicelor probably wouldn't come to the meeting himself, would he?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
So you go to the meeting and you come walking in and you see he's there, still has his face disguised. Everything else is exactly as it was before.
He'll approach and say, my comrade has unfortunately perished, but one has been taken care of.
How has he died?
It matters not. I just know that he is gone, and so is his body.
I won't ask any further then.
But your priest of, what's that god's name?
Mask.
Not the mask.
Denier.
No, Denier is also gone.
Oh, no, Mistra, that one.
Mistra, yeah. Mistra is gone.
He nods and says, that's wonderful news. I actually hadn't heard of that one yet, but I imagine it would filter to me in a day or two's time.
And then he would then go to approach and say, do I need to kill the priestess of Denier, or would it suffice if I removed her?
In what way?
Gone from the city, never to be seen again.
That could easily be done if she was just transferred elsewhere, but she doesn't want to be transferred elsewhere. She likes working in this city.
Correct.
She likes the
This
work
is
she does here.
forcibly removed.
Forcibly removed has a chance of returning.
Not to where I would take her.
Potentially. Like, I don't mean to argue with you, and you are very likely correct, but why would I gamble with most likely when I can have definite? If it's a sure thing, that's what you bet on.
And the dagger would not suffice if I just removed her. Would anything?
We have our deal. We've come to terms.
Correct, but I've found some use, perhaps, in having her alive.
That's unfortunate. Perhaps you should have spoken less and done the job a little quicker.
Bayshore would kind of snarl and take an aggressive stance towards him. But knowing that, like, he wouldn't strike or anything, knowing that this place is essentially rigged to fall on him.
Mm-hmm.
You say, he would think for a bit and say, is there something else I could offer you to perhaps make it okay if I just took her?
You wouldn't happen to have two of those daggers, would you?
Unfortunately, no. But I do have throwing darts.
Oh, please, please. Of real value.
And some potions.
And that's what you were trying to nick from my shop before.
I was not taking those, but that of the poison vial.
An apothecary could make me potions.
Is there anything else you seek? Obviously, we talked of the mask priest. What if I just, instead of doing the full thing, removed her and won over your comrades or killed that priest? One or the other, not both.
Huh. You know, I was starting to think you're annoying. No, child, always asking, may I have an ice cream cone? No. May I have a popsicle? No. How about a candy? No. Always asking the same thing over and over again with ever so slight change of phrase. I won't lie. You do it consistently, and it's consistently annoying, but at the same time, you get me every time. You come up with a genuinely brilliant conclusion to our problem. You will remove her from the city, not necessarily permanently, but I can always see the job finished at a time if need be. And you'll half finish the other job. A third is already done, and I still keep the dagger. I think we can agree to these terms.
Which would it be then?
Which is best for you?
Seems simpler to take out one than it is to win over three.
If that's what works best for you, I'll allow you to do what you need, what you find necessary. Understands, it's probably going to be a little difficult to sneak up on this one.
Not to worry. He would then throw the dagger down and walk out.
Like throw it like flat down, or like
stick it in the floor like between his feet.
Yep, cool. And walks out. Cool, awesome. You leave, and Tyler got another deal. And so you head back to Viceroy, I imagine, fill him in.
Yep.
And the two of you can work together to try to find out where the fluff this man is. Why doesn't one of you roll investigation while the other one assists?
My investigation's a 6.
Yeah, you're gonna win. Mine's a 2 or a 5.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's not bad. You guys don't have to investigate together. You can investigate independently if you prefer.
I don't think that would be beneficial.
I don't know. If you're asking me to roll, you never know. I can roll with advantage, or else we can both roll. It's up to you.
I trust you today.
Great.
Oh, today's the day 2 PCs die.
All right. So investigation. Who are we looking for? Who's this guy?
It's actually the priest of the Temple of Mask. The Temple of Mask is not. It is not a. It's not. This is a thieves guild. It's that a Temple of Mask will often also act as a thieves guild.
Why don't you use your little fly duder? That's what Baser would say. Why don't you use your flying duder?
The familiar?
Yes.
I mean, I can have it look around. That'd be probably. This is a big city, though. I imagine it would take a while.
Not if I told you where the Mask's temple was and have you look.
I could do that. Yeah.
Would that give him advantage?
Advantage on my roll now, Scott?
What?
If he used his familiar to search as well, would he naturally get advantage so that Baser could search himself?
I mean, no.
Cool. So I'm just gonna roll this with advantage as I would normally would then.
All right.
Because it makes no sense that the bird would do that, because you one or the other more or less would be searching.
Yeah, because I've got to see through its eyes. Well, 15, I guess, is a.
I'm just curious. What would you have rolled, Tyler?
You want me to roll?
I'm just curious.
Has to be better than that. Yeah.
There he is. This is my boy. That's Tyler for you. Oh, you need something done? I do it. All right. So
I think I roll better with disadvantage than I do with advantage.
I rolled that normally, Wade.
I know. I'm well aware. I see that dice.
Wade's like you need something done. I like 2/3 assets, so you can't blame me for half-ass. So
since what we're searching, I would be curious. So once we are done with the high priestess, why switch targets?
I made a deal to take her and not kill her. I saw use, figured she could read the language and take care of that problem for us. And therefore,
we can always keep her in the bag of holding.
No. Baser would glare at him and say, I figure we keep her with the orcs. And then he also said, no harm, no foul in the other option.
Very well.
So the two of you start making your way towards the towards where this man is, and you do eventually find out, not because the 15 is a high enough check, let's be serious, it's not very good. It's the background information that was procured by the orc of Grunch beforehand that lowered the DC enough that a 15 would figure it out. You know where the Temple of Mask is. That's fine. But honestly, the people that are at the Temple of Mask are basic parishioners there. It's the people that run it, you're not entirely sure who they are. Until eventually you find out that it's actually one of the parishioners that is the practitioner of the temple, the one that actually like maintains it, the priest of the temple.
And that's the one I'm supposed to target? Is that what you're saying?
Correct. However, when they leave the temple and when they come in, you can never really put your finger on who it is, because people come and go all the time, but it's fairly inconsistent of who it is that comes, who it is that goes. Sometimes you can literally watch all day and see 3 people walk in, 3 very different people walk out.
Would Baystra, with his background with his thieves' tools and such, be able to figure out? I mean, obviously he has ear to the ground, and thieves can't. To be able to figure out what he could potentially do to find that information. They steal from somebody and go into the temple, or like as like an offering to the priest, essentially trying to get more information, get closer, find the guy's ear.
I was factoring those in while you were making your investigation checks beforehand to discover this.
Okay.
Again, as part of how you were able to discern, because finding the leader of a temple of, again, you needed a lot to be able to accomplish that. Those are factored into it. So unfortunately, it doesn't give you any more benefit. It seems as though the people that come and go, it's one of them. It's pretty obvious, but which one, you have no idea. And whoever that person is changes often enough.
Well, Beishra, how do you want to proceed here? It seems we're in a bit of a pickle.
I'm gonna just walk in.
Very well. Do you want to walk in seen?
Yes.
I'll save a spell slot.
So Beishra would just plan to walk into this place.
Absolutely. So you do exactly that. You just go, fuck it. And you just go walking right into it. One second, I'll just fix my windows over here. So you go walking straight into the location, trying to see if you could find out, any details sort of going in. When you walk in, you can see that there are people inside literally doing worship to mask. Worship to mask being things like, on their knees praying, standing up off to the side. There's literally a temple inside of here. Looking inside, you look about and you can see that there are currently 2 parishioners here doing their worship.
Beishra would just willy-nilly walk up to one of the parishioner and say, I have news. I need to speak to the leader of your Thieves Guild immediately.
I'm sorry, thing, but there is no Thieves Guild here.
You lie. I'm aware I am a thief.
Are you now?
I know of a threat.
He says, are you now? And he kind of holds his hand in a funny way, which is the symbol, which is a symbol that means lie.
So I have to lie to him?
You interpret it however you'd like, Tyler.
So Beishra's going to lie to him. I'm from this town, and he would say one of the Thieves Guilds, or do a symbol of one of the Thieves Guilds that he has seen on the streets.
He goes,
ground.
Really? You're from this town? I have a feeling like I don't believe you. There's another symbol that means more or less threat.
I couldn't even roll for deception.
No, you're fine.
He would just kind of look around and say, listen, if you're not going to help me, it's your loss, your death.
Okay. And he's like, whoa, buddy, you don't need to get, like, we don't have to fight. And he then does one more symbol that means apologize. Like, sorry.
May I speak then?
What did you, sorry, I didn't hear that.
May I speak to this person then?
So, did you intend to apologize or no? I'm sorry, Tyler. It sounds like you, because beforehand you were doing the things that he was gesturing.
Yeah. Oh, then yeah, he would say, I'm sorry, but I still need to speak with him.
Okay. That's what I was like. I didn't know if you made a mistake or not. Do me a favor. Roll me a persuasion now.
Just normal?
Yep. No, with advantage, but yeah, re-roll with advantage.
I want my original roll.
Oh, yikes. Man, our advantage rolls are not very good tonight.
Tyler's always feast or famine, man.
I want my original roll.
That's
not good either. But
I don't think it's going to help.
When everything's said and done, he looks you up and he looks at you and says, well, at least I know you know your stuff. And he says, but I don't think I can help your friend.
Grab his dagger
It's in.
and put it to his throat and intimidate.
So, okay. So you go to reach for your dagger, and immediately reaching for your dagger, it's not like you can just get it quite up to the throat. As you grab it, you draw it out, and you go to move forward quickly. Unfortunately, it's a roll for initiative.
I guess I'm outside. I don't even know any of this is going down from where I'm at.